More information has been given about Jon Jones' recent incident, and it sounds like an absolute horror story. Adesanya versus Whittaker 2 is now in the works, and Nate Diaz wants to fight in December. But against who, I thought I'd give my opinion on all of these topics in today's MMA News reaction video. Starting with Jon Jones, a police report has been given including various gruesome details about the incident between him and his fiancée. It's been given to various members of the media, and this is a police report, so I'm going to just go ahead and say that it's absolutely true, because this is what the police witnessed, and this is what basically happened according to the police, who had interactions with Jon Jones's wife and Jon Jones's kids and some of the hotel staff as well. So it sounds like everything in this report happened. And Jon Jones, let me just say this because I might as well say it now, he is absolute scum of the earth. I have no respect for him whatsoever anymore, because some of the stuff in this police report is actually disgusting. And the fact that Jon Jones said afterwards that he's going to leave alcohol in his past forever, he has too much trauma, and somehow made himself the victim of this situation is actually disgraceful. Jon Jones belongs behind bars for a very long time, or he needs some kind of very extreme punishment, because when I read you these details given by the police and what they assessed happened, he is a fucking monster, okay? And it needs to be mentioned. This is War Machine level stuff. Maybe not to the same extent, because of course it was a much more brutal situation in the War Machine situation, but this is just as sinister with Jon Jones, because man, some of the details here, I'm going to read them out to you right now. My God, of course he was arrested and he was called on charges of misdemeanor battery and domestic violence, and he also was tampering with a vehicle at some point as well when the police arrested him. But I'll give you the further information that the police has given here, and also give my opinion at every single stage that we go through here, because it's actually crazy. So, Jones left his fiancée Jessie Moses bloodied after allegedly assaulting her with her 3 children present. Now here's why I don't understand the wording. Allegedly. The reason why this is allegedly is because Jon Jones's fiancée is not claiming that it happened. However, everyone around her knows that it happened, okay? It's really bad, but this is how it works, I guess. Unless Jon Jones's fiancée is willing to prosecute Jon Jones, her own husband, I don't know if this case is even going to go any further, and it sucks that that's how it works, because Jon Jones, according to this, is a monster and there's so much evidence against him. So, according to the report, the domestic incident took place inside a room at Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino. Moses said the altercation occurred after Jones came back agitated from a night out with friends while she was asleep. When she tried to leave the room, Moses said Jones pulled her hair. According to Moses, their children were present during the altercation. Their kids are there during this situation, but it gets way, way worse. And you can tell that Jon Jones's fiancée, she's willing to say there was an altercation, but she's not willing to really plant Jon Jones in the real bad situation that actually happened, because I guess she doesn't want him to go to prison, because at the end of the day, she's still his wife or his fiance, and he's still her husband, and I guess she doesn't want to be responsible for putting him behind bars. But I say put this man behind bars regardless of what the fiance says. Listen to what goes on here. So, Moses came to the desk and asked for a key to her room. The security guard observed blood on Moses, so immediately we know he didn't just pull her hair. She's got blood on her, okay? That's a security guard at the desk of the hotel room. She then cried when asked if she was okay. Moses explained she did not feel safe going back to the room, and she was taken with her children to a security office. Once there, Jones's youngest child asked security, "Can you call the cops?" His youngest child is in a position where whatever gender it is asking what is going to go on. I'm just going to say she, because I think he has daughters. So his daughter is aware enough about this situation that's going on to know that the next step is to call the police about the situation that's just gone down. Craziness that Jon Jones is putting his kids through this. But then again, when interviewed by police, Moses was asked if Jon Jones had gotten physical with her, to which she responded, not too physical, but a little bit, yeah. If you're bleeding, he definitely has got really physical with you. So, according to the report, police observed blood all over Moses' clothing and a bump with dried up blood on the lower part of her lip. When asked about her bloody lip, Moses stated that her lips get dry. Now, I don't know if you've ever had dry lips, but they don't just spontaneously combust into a blood-clotted patch out of nowhere, and also end up all over your clothes as well. I've never seen crusty lips to that level. Maybe they are out there, but come on, this is actually so obvious what's going on here. Jon Jones is a long-time abuser of his wife, or fiancé, whatever she is. She's been a fiancé for about 5 years now. He has been a long-time abuser of her, and the fact that she's hiding it is because it's so normal to her, and she doesn't want it to be revealed, and I wonder why we never see Jon Jones out and about with his wife like we do with every other MMA fighter who's with their wife. Poirier and Jolie Poirier, Conor McGregor, D. Devlin. We see them together, they're smiling together. We never see that with Jon Jones and his wife. Why, I wonder? Let's move on with the story. So, the police report described Moses as scared to even talk about Jonathan, Jon Jones. When police entered the hotel room with Moses to observe where the altercation took place, they found blood on the bedsheets and shoes strewn about. She still seemed very scared as to the release of Jonathan from jail, the arresting officer wrote in the report. Moses asked him how long he had before Jones would be released from jail, so she's worried in the room about Jon Jones being released from prison. She's actively worried. Like, she's still scared as to where is he. This is actually a horror film playing out in front of us right now as I read you this. Craziness right now. So, scared to even talk about Jonathan when the police went in there. She refused to have pictures taken of her injuries and declined to accept a domestic violence card with information about a restraining order. He is obviously abusing his wife here. There is nothing else about this. He belongs in a fucking grave, straight up. What is wrong with this fucking evil cunt of a monster? No demons, no alcohol behind me, I've got too much trauma. You fucking beat your wife, you fucking scummy cunt of a prick. Fuck Jon Jones. No heavyweight comeback. No nothing. Get this fucker in a fucking electric chair. He's a cunt of a person. Moving on. So, Jones had just left the premises with 2 male adults. After a description was broadcasted by police radio, Jones was quickly found walking on a nearby street. Jones became irate as he was arrested and smashed his head into the front of the hood of a whatever it is, PD, police department patrol vehicle, which left a medium-sized dent and paint chipped off. Now, that doesn't even mean anything. I don't care what size the fucking dent was. So, Jones was an emotional roller coaster in custody, according to the report. Initially angry, Jones told officers a lawsuit would be filed against the department for ruining the biggest night of his life. That's his mindset right now. I'm going to sue you guys for ruining the biggest night of my life where he got inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's what he's focused on. You guys are ruining my buzz. Why can't I just beat my wife? Essentially is what he's asking right now. Craziness. Then he went to a state of calmness. Now, he said he's been going through difficult times with his fiancée, but denied getting physical with her. He went back to say goodbye to his children before his night out, and then headed back to the hotel room to get $10,000 for a trip to a strip club. Why are you even going to a strip club when you're with your fiancé and children in a hotel room? Why? You're a creep. You're a freak of a man. Why is there even a question about this? I don't understand the situation that we're in right now. Though Jones claimed Moises didn't have an issue with the behaviour, the strip club trip started an argument about their relationship in which he told her to fuck off. He denied pulling Moses' hair or hitting her and said he did not remember any blood or him leaving the hotel. He did not even remember himself leaving the hotel. You know what this is? Selective memory of situations so he can defend himself in court. He is experienced in this situation enough to know what to say and what to forget about. I don't even remember leaving the room. Of course you remember leaving the room. You remember why you went back there. You remember saying goodbye to your kids like a God-loving Christian. You remember getting $10,000, exactly the amount, but you don't remember anything that happened afterwards? You don't remember even leaving to go back out? You didn't drink while you were in there. It's not like you got more drunk while you were in there. Either way, we continue down the reports. So, after the interview, Jones joked with officers that he would like to take them all on and see what he could do. They told him it was no laughing matter and they'd taser him if he said something like that again. So, he's a monstrous human being. Why is there even a question about this right now? Lock this man up. He's a danger to society. He's absolute living scum of a human to do this in front of his kids. He's obviously a fucking abuser of his fiancée. I am fucking over this cunt. I don't even want to see him. Actually, you know what? I do want to see him against Ngannou. I think that should be his fucking punishment, the pussy coward. No more bulking up to 270. No more shit like that. Just go fucking in there with Ngannou and Rosenstruik and Blades and Stipe Miocic. Just lock Jon Jones in a cage with the entire top 5 of the fucking heavyweight division. This guy is actual scum. And people aren't out. I don't feel like people are really talking about this right now. When Conor McGregor said he would kill Dustin Poirier, everyone went crazy. People are acting like Jon Jones has a chance of getting out of this. He should be in jail. It shouldn't even be on the wife at this point. With all of this evidence that they have, it should not even be on the wife, or the fiancé, sorry. To say, I want my husband in jail, it should be immediately. You're never leaving this place. You're going away for a long time. You're fucking you're a monster. Straight up. For fuck, man. Fuck Jon Jones. Straight up, you fucking disgrace of a human. And he has the audacity to post on his Instagram, lifting weights in a gym after this situation, saying, oh, all the trauma I've had in my past, the alcohol, it needs to be left in my past forever, I've got too much trauma. It's nothing to do with any of that. You're a scummy little sociopathic cunt, and you deserve death, straight up. You're actually a cunt of a human being. Go fuck yourself. Fuck Jon Jones, should never be able to fight for the UFC ever again, should be stripped of all belts, should be stripped of all accomplishments, should be stripped of his Hall of Fame award, should be stripped of everything he fucking has in his life. He is absolute scum. Turn this nightmare into the best thing to ever happen in my life. He's trying to find a positive way of taking this beating of his wife to turn it into his success of his career. What world are we in? What the devil means for bad, God means for good. Put this man down. Put this freak show down before he kills someone. Straight up. How is he in a gym right now? How is he not in an absolute Hannibal Lecter mask in jail right now? How the fuck is he lifting weights in a gym talking about how he's going to work harder than ever to get back in there? There should be no freedom here. Lock this man up. The evidence is all there. Blood on the sheets, blood on her shirt. She won't tell you anything. She's crying. She's scared of her husband. He only pulled my hair. Never fucking happened. He beat the shit out of her. Let's be real. He beat the shit out of her in front of his kids. Go fuck himself. Moving on. Adesanya versus Whittaker got signed. Try and segue here. Great matchup. I maybe should have made separate videos. I should have made separate videos about this because I'm furious. Adesanya versus Whittaker 2 has been signed in the works for UFC 270. It's the same card as Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. The same card as Ngannou versus Gane, we suppose. Gonna be an amazing card. Has Whittaker implemented... I should have made 2 videos out of this. But I'm going to continue anyway. This is just such a weird vibe to switch over to. Maybe I should have started with this, but either way. Oh, anyway. Adesanya Whittaker 2 in the works for UFC 270. As Whittaker implemented more grappling, I guess, I'm going to go with Adesanya here over Whittaker in the rematch. I don't think Whittaker's going to be too good in this one, and I feel like Adesanya has a way of getting under Whittaker's skin, which I believe is what happened in the first fight, and I think that's only going to reenact itself. Whittaker does have a great chance of winning this one, so if Adesanya is some egregious favourite out of nowhere, I could see myself maybe being tempted by an underdog pick on Whittaker, but I truly believe Adesanya is going to be a minor favourite, minus 180, minus 190. I don't think he'll be over it. Maybe he'll be a 2-1 favourite here against Whittaker. That seems like something that could be reasonable. I'm not picking Whittaker though. He's made the improvements, and people talk about how he was lunging against Adesanya the first time. I give you this, he kind of had to lunge against Adesanya the first time. He can't fight the way he fought Gastelum, where Gastelum's crashing forward against him in short range, non-stop every single second of the fight against Israel Adesanya. Adesanya's going to sit on the outside with his gyno, complete roid abuser, either way, leg kick Whittaker from range and like invite him in. And that's what he did the first time, and I think that's what he's going to do the second time. However, I do believe it's going to be a decision win for Israel Adesanya, and I'm going to call her like a 4-1 on rounds, a 3-2 on rounds. I think this is going to be a very competitive fight. I think Whittaker's going to go to the legs more, go to the body a little bit more, stomp out the legs as well. I know Adesanya had some counters for it the first time, but I think Whittaker's going to go to it more often and make Adesanya worry about it more often as well. And I just can see Whittaker doing a lot better, but still not good enough to beat Adesanya. Nothing quite makes up for the fact that Adesanya has a massive reach advantage over every single opponent he takes on, a massive range advantage with his legs as well against every single opponent he takes on. He's not a small guy for the division. He's somehow stronger than all of them with a breast hanging off of himself. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Maybe it could be a coincidence. Who knows? Either way, don't see Whittaker winning this one. I think Adesanya's going to win it by decision in a very good scrap, back and forth. Both guys landing good shots, like 25 to Adesanya to 19 to Whittaker, 24 to Adesanya to 17 to Whittaker. One of those kind of scorecards, but I do believe that Adesanya's going to land more, chop at the legs, land good shots at range, but Whittaker does have a real chance to mix in his takedowns. One thing I do want to see from Whittaker in this bout, how has this mood changed? I want Whittaker to go in there, close the distance, throw a couple of shots, get the body lock and go for some sweep takedowns like he did against Kelvin Gastelum. Israel Adesanya is taller, he has a higher centre of gravity, which means he's more vulnerable to getting swept in those positions if you do have a body lock over him. And Whittaker has been improving his grappling, so I'd like to see him get it done. However, I feel as though Whittaker's main chance of doing this would have been before Adesanya got exposed against Jan Blachowicz. Not exposed, but his grappling was sort of addressed. He had to address his grappling after the Jan Blachowicz fight, and I feel like Whittaker had his chance. But I think now Adesanya's already been shown the mistake against Jan Blachowicz. He's improved them. He showed that against Marvin Vettori. He got back up there off the ground where he didn't before. Looked a lot better on the ground there. I still believe Adesanya's got this one in the bag. But I can see Whittaker winning some rounds. I think I'm going to call a 3-2 decision win for Israel Adesanya. And that's going to be like the only guy who has a chance at beating Adesanya at middleweight right now. Because other than Whittaker, they're all 38-year-old men. I'm not even joking. Brunson's going to be 38 by the time he fights Cannonier. And Cannonier's 37. They're all old men. Whittaker's got one chance to get it done. Other than that, it's just going to be Israel Adesanya beating up a bunch of pensioners. Moving on to something else that happened in the news. Nate Diaz came out and said December with a fist. Very coded, I know, but we'll see what Nate Diaz does. I know he didn't want the Luque fight. Maybe now it's back on. Maybe this is him letting us know that it's back on now. I don't see a Masvidal fight being made right now. I think Masvidal is actually looking to get towards a title shot and get fights with Leon Edwards and get fights with Gilbert Burns and get fights with top contenders. Maybe he does look at Nate Diaz here. But if I was Robbie Lawler right now and I beat Nick Diaz, I'd be putting my hand up and saying, hey, Nate, me versus you in December. Let's make it happen. Avenge your brother's loss. I think that'd be a very cool promo they could make, and I think it's a very winnable fight for Nate Diaz as well, which he kind of needs at this point in his career, because Nate Diaz, let's just face it, probably won't beat anyone inside the top 5 of the welterweight division. Pretty confidently, I'll say that as well. He did mention Luque. That seems to have fizzled out. I think he watched some Luque fights and realised, oh, hang on a second, I don't want to get annihilated. So I think he's going to look for a more approachable comeback fight, and I think that is maybe against a Robbie Lawler. Maybe it could be Masvidal. Maybe it could be Tony Ferguson. I don't know who it is, but Tony Ferguson said he wants to come back in December as well. Tony Ferguson claimed he wanted to come back in December as well this year. Nate Diaz just said December with a fist. Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz is an amazing bout in the 170-pound division. I can see Tony Ferguson as someone Nate Diaz looks at as a warrior, as someone he respects, as someone he knows is going to sell a big fight for him and make a whole bunch of notoriety and noise. I think it could be the bout. Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz. It's that or it's Robbie Lawler or Jorge Masvidal. Masvidal said he wanted to fight this year as well, but Leon Edwards turned it down. But now Leon Edwards, after turning it down and losing his opportunity, is saying that he would want to fight Masvidal because Leon Edwards hates himself and hates his career and wants to fail. But there you go. But let's just sum this up on Jon Jones is a monster. He deserves to be in jail. There's no excuse. I'm sick of hearing that bullshit excuse of my demons. Oh, the demons that I have. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're you. You are you. You did those things. You know you did those things. And I'm sick that we're watching him right now do motivational workout videos saying he's going to turn this into a positive for himself. Like it's all against him. Like he's the victim. Madness. Honestly, madness. Honestly, I have no idea how this world works, but if that isn't an obvious instance of the fact that Jon Jones is a fucking abuser of his fiancée on a regular basis as well, because of how the kids know what to do, how the fiancée knows not what to tell them and how not to give anything away, and how Jon Jones knows how to react to the police and say that he doesn't remember anything inside the room and all of that. Like, it just seems like this is a constant thing, and no wonder we never see Jon Jones's fiancée. Fucking disgrace of a man. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Fucking madness to me. The world better go in on Jon Jones here, because they went in on Conor McGregor for saying he was going to kill Poirier for nothing. They all turned on him. I swear, if people aren't making slanderous videos, if I don't see an update on DC and RC, that shit fucking show with RC who no one gives a fuck about, if I don't see an update where DC is just slating him non-stop, if I don't see everyone come out of the MMA media and fucking slate this absolute abomination Jon Jones, fucking hell. It's crazy to me how, I don't know, I think everyone needs to come out and unanimously slander this man. I don't even fucking want him in the sport anymore. Go fuck himself, the prick.